My name is Alex, and I want to share a true incident that happened to me when I was 15. It happened when I moved into a new house with my parents. We were still adjusting to the unfamiliar creaks and groans of the old yet charming suburban home. This incident happened when I was home alone. Being home alone isn't new to me. With parents who often travel for work, it's become a familiar routine to have the house to myself. This time, they were away for a few hours, leaving me to navigate the silence and solitude of our suburban home. It was an ordinary evening. The soft glow of the setting sun cast elongated shadows through the windows as I settled in for a quiet night. The plan was simple: order takeout, catch up on some schoolwork, and perhaps binge watch a series until the late hours. As darkness fell and the house embraced a serene quietness, I found comfort in the solitude. However, a subtle unease gradually crept in, heightened by the occasional creaks and groans of the settling house. I reassured myself it was merely the sounds of an aging home. Midnight struck, and I was engrossed in my studies when a soft tapping sound echoed from upstairs. I dismissed it, attributing it to the shifting of the old house until it repeated, persistent yet faint. Curiosity mingled with apprehension as I ventured upstairs, where the tapping seemed to originate. The dim hallway was eerily quiet, and as I neared my bedroom, the tapping ceased abruptly. A sudden chill ran down my spine as the door to my room creaked open, revealing darkness within. I knew I'd closed it earlier, a fact that unnerved me more than I cared to admit. I hesitated, debating whether to investigate or flee downstairs. Summoning courage, I cautiously stepped into the room, flipping the light switch. The room was as I left it, neat and untouched. Trying to calm my racing heart, I chalked it up to my imagination, a trick played by the house settling, or a draft causing the door to move. As I turned to leave, a whisper brushed against my ear, chilling me to the core. It was unintelligible yet undeniably present. Panic surged through me and I bolted out of the room, slamming the door shut behind me. Seeking solace in the downstairs living room, I tried to shake off the unease, convinced it was fatigue playing tricks on my mind. But the feeling of being watched lingered, intensifying with each passing minute. Then, a faint melody, a distant music box tune, resonated through the house, growing louder with every passing second. My heart raced as the music seemed to emanate from my closed bedroom upstairs. Summoning every ounce of courage, I ascended the stairs again, the music growing more haunting as I approached my room. With trembling hands, I pushed open the door. Silence enveloped the room, the music abruptly ceasing. Yet, on my desk, sat an old, ornate music box, its lid slightly ajar. I knew for certain it hadn't been there before. A shiver ran down my spine as I cautiously closed the music box, its tune still lingering in the air. I couldn't explain its sudden appearance or the inexplicable events of the night. With a racing heart, I fled the room, leaving the unsettling melody behind. As I descended the stairs, I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched, each step echoing with a silent question. Was I truly alone in the house? At this point, I was scared, confused, and anxious, and I could no longer stay inside the house, so I ran outside and waited there for my parents to return. When my parents returned, I recounted the night's events, expecting concern or acknowledgement. Instead, they brushed it off as fatigue-induced imagination, blaming the unfamiliar house and stress of the move. As time passed, life in the new house resumed its normalcy. Yet, the memory of that unsettling night lingered, leaving me questioning my sanity. My name is Sam. This incident took place when I was 14 years of age. There are only 3 members in my family: me, my dad, and mom. My parents were working for a company, and they were always going out to meet clients in other cities and stuff, leaving me alone in our house. Being alone isn't new to me, as it happened many times, but I didn't even imagine that this particular night is going to be a nightmare. My parents went out at 7 in the evening. After they left, I locked the door and ordered a burger for the night and went upstairs to binge watch a show on Netflix. 30 minutes passed, and the show I was watching was already getting interesting. At this time, the delivery guy showed up on my door. I came running down the stairs, took my burger, and went back upstairs to continue watching the show. It was about 10 in the night, and I was getting really thirsty at this point, maybe because of the burger I had. So I came downstairs to get water from the fridge. As I was taking the water out from the fridge, I casually looked out the window that was next to the fridge. That's when I saw it. A dark and creepy figure standing on the street, dimly lit by the streetlight. And the odd thing was it was staring right into my soul. I could feel it. It creeped me out. I closed the window immediately and went upstairs. I looked out again from the upstairs window to see if that person or that thing is still there. But it was gone. I didn't think much of it. I just thought it was some homeless person or something, and I ignored it. I was also feeling kind of tired and sleepy, so instead of watching the show, I went to bed early. After a few hours of sleep, I woke up, or should I say that something woke me up? No, it was not the thirst for water. It was a laugh, a creepy, bone-chilling laughter, coming from outside of the house, or so I thought. The laughter continued, and the curiosity took the better of me. I grabbed my phone and went to investigate the source of that laughter. Maybe it was a dumb idea. I carefully walked down the stairs, making sure that I didn't make a single sound. I didn't even turn on the light. Only source of light for me was my phone torch. With that light, I could only see few meters ahead of me. As I looked around the house, I noticed something. The door was open. That's when I realized that I forgot to close the door after I received the burger. Now the reality hit me as my heart started to race, because the laughter wasn't coming from outside of the house. It was coming from inside of the house. And whatever was responsible for that laugh was with me, inside the house. I turned off my flashlight in fear of getting noticed. The hallway was dimly lit from the light coming from the street lamps outside. Again, I heard that laugh. Now I figured out that it was coming from the kitchen, as I was right next to it. My heart was pounding. Mustering all my courage, I peeked into the kitchen to see what the hell was responsible for that spine-shivering noise of a laughter. The kitchen was even darker than the hallway. As my eyes adjusted to the darkness, my heart stopped, because from that darkness, there were these pair of eyes staring right back at me. It was the same thing that I saw earlier outside my house. The same dark figure with glowing eyes and a grin so large it almost extended from ear to ear. And it had my kitchen knife in its hand. It charged at me with the knife while laughing like a maniac. My flight or fight response kicked in. Adrenaline rushing into my brain, I took off as fast as I can, heading upstairs and hid inside one of the room. I ran so fast I don't think that thing noticed which room I went into. I was hiding in the corner of my parents' room, after making sure that I locked the door as securely as possible. The house went completely silent. I could hear the thing's footsteps approaching upstairs. Luckily, I had my phone in my hand. I immediately called 911. I whispered my address to them and practically begged them to come quickly before I ended the call. Now that thing was upstairs, searching every room, and eventually ended up before the room I was hiding in. It was pounding on the door, trying to open it, and I was inside, frozen in fear, praying to God. And after 5 minutes, I heard the siren outside. I understood that the cops have arrived, and I called for help. Listening to my voice, they came upstairs and told me to open the door. That thing was nowhere to be seen. It was gone, vanished into thin air. The only clue that it left was the knife marks on the door. I was traumatized for a week, and my parents never let me be alone in the house after that incident. I'm 24 now, and I still wonder what would have happened to me if that creature managed to break open the door that day.